Joel Embiid has been a huge contributor for Kansas this season. He's the highest-ranked freshman in the Big 12 in rebounds with 8 per game, leads the league with 21 blocks. Remarkable numbers when you consider he just started playing basketball a few years ago in high school. In fact, Rock High School is where he got his start, and Justin Harden is his head coach there in high school in Gainesville, and he joins us now. And boy, it's been a whirlwind 3 years. I mean, from a high school player who didn't play at all, now he's at the top of a lot of mock draft boards for the NBA draft. What are your thoughts about him rising and getting on the radar here of NBA teams?
Well, it's quite amazing. I honestly didn't think when he arrived at our school last year that he would be this far along in his progression. As he is. I know Coach Self and the Kansas program does a great job of developing him, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought he would go from someone who was kind of around the top 100 in the high school rankings, all the way up to a projected possible #1 pick overall. It's quite amazing.
All right, Coach Harden, everybody watching Joel play realizes he's one of the best in the nation, rightfully so, is how well he's looked early on in this season. But let's be honest, this kid hadn't played much basketball when you got your hands on him. How awkward and goofy was he when he first stepped onto the floor playing on your high school team? Were you like, what am I going to do with this kid? Was it two left feet? What was the deal?
It was quite the opposite. There's in our conference we run into, believe it or not, several 7-footers, guys who can run, guys who can jump. But never have I seen someone as tall, as athletic, and as coordinated as Joel. When he came in, the ball would be on the ground, and he would use some soccer skills to flip it up to himself, and then he'd be shooting bank shots off of from the 3-point line and make like 8 out of 10. I mean, it was quite amazing when he got here. So all I tried to do was instill some fundamentals into him and just let his athletic, talents take over.
So, Coach, you're telling me right when you got your hands on this kid, he was there. How coachable was he? Because that seems like that's one of the focuses for a kid who still has a big upside and a lot to learn.
Yeah, I think when when you have a talented kid such as Joel or any of these guys, I think things come to them very easily. So what you have to get them to understand is that, yes, it's coming easy to you now, but eventually you're going to have to work hard just to get some opportunities. Your talent can't always rule out. Hard work's got to be mixed in. And so, he started to get there. And once he got to Kansas, I think they've done a great job of really demonstrating how hard it is. I mean, going up against Tariq Black every day in practice, he's got to work hard or else that big fella's going to push him around.
Coach, give us a story, if you can, to help us know Joel Embiid a little bit better, a story from his time there at the Rock.
Well, I think Joel is kind of an introvert, but when you see him on the court, it's kind of his safe haven. He loves to cut up and get loose with his teammates and so forth. One of the funny things that I always remember is we had a volleyball game here, a home game. Our guys go out and cheer him on a lot, and he got down, our guy started making a beat, and Joel, big 7-footer, new to our school, he got down there and just started shaking and gyrating, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious to see a 7-footer his size dance like that. But again, it goes back to his coordination. He's just got God-given talent, but his coordination is off the charts as well.
Coach Harden, you spent some time with him in high school. You got a good feel for the type of kid he is. Jayhawk Nation wants to know, and to be honest, so do me and Ray, what's the likelihood, given that he's a projected #1 pick, what's the likelihood he leaves for the draft after this freshman season?
Well, I will tell Jayhawk Nation that he loves Kansas. When he came back here, they played at Florida, so it was an opportunity for him to come back, and I talked, and a lot of other people here were like, Joel, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But he really loves Coach Self and the whole Jayhawk Nation. But, I don't have any insider information, to be honest, but it's hard for me to believe that a kid, who comes from an African nation, regardless of their background, to pass up that kind of opportunity, especially if you're the #1 overall pick. We've seen people in football or basketball get hurt and then kind of lose that status. So, I would suggest that he go because in the NBA, he's only going to get better.
Well, a life-changing decision, no question about it. Coach Justin Harden, thanks so much for taking the time with us. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having us on.